Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I'm going to do your October the 26th Spiritual Principle a Day in a meditation. The title of the meditation is The Impact of Consistency. A group needs the consistent commitment of its members to show up and take part in its meetings. Upon that commitment rests the group's stability. Without it, no group can survive long. It works, tradition 7. Consistency is a key part of the messages we first receive in NA. Keep coming back. 90 meetings in 90 days. Meeting makers make it. It's suggested that we find a home group and become a home group member, not merely visit it. We're encouraged to get a service commitment there and to show up for that commitment. When we lack consistency in our groups, when we're not kept informed by our service body reps, when we don't provide the human or financial resources needed to carry out our request, our groups and services aren't as strong. NA suffers as a result, and we miss potential opportunities to help newcomers. The direct impact of our consistency may occur beyond the walls of a meeting. Many of us live in densely populated areas with plenty of groups to participate in. Many other NA communities are limited. Only a few meetings, sometimes days, and considerable distance apart, and perhaps too few members to fill service positions. Many groups thrive for decades, never dark for any reason. Others burn bright, then falter. Others struggle to stay afloat week by week. At times, it's a real misfortune to lose a group. Other times, a loss blooms into a new opportunity. There are way too many home group scenarios to describe here. But one thing we know is true. It takes reliable and committed NA members to turn and keep the lights on at any meeting. Service committee, or NA event. And it's no exaggeration to say that being consistent saves addicts' lives, including our own. To carry the message of recovery and to conduct necessary NA business, we need to show up with our time, funds, skills, and willingness. We take on tasks of all sizes and shapes. And in the spirit of rotation, we mentor others to step up. What can I do to keep my home group more stable? How can I help others become more involved and consistent in their contributions to home group stability? Where do I need to step aside in the spirit of rotation so that others can grow from consistent service to our NA community? Let's take a moment of silence followed by the wee version of Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. The impact of consistency, and it's true, we need members that are willing to establish themselves as having a home group, show up regularly at that home group, and help that home group carry the message. Help that group perform its primary purpose, which is to carry the message, right? I've experienced, being involved in service for many years, and I know that sometimes when people in the home group are used to certain people handling certain positions of service, they get comfortable. They get so complacent and comfortable because the meeting has maintained an atmosphere of recovery. It operates like a well-oiled wheel, and they don't feel a need to step up and do anything. And then when one member that's doing service becomes exhausted, burnt out because of something coming up in their life, and they can no longer perform, it's very difficult to find a replacement or find someone else that will step up. And a lot of times that is when attendance starts to wane, the atmosphere recovery changes, and eventually the group may fizzle out. That's why we want to make sure that we maintain a spirit of what I call rotation, that we're always mentoring someone else, showing them the ropes. Back in the day, we used to have, say, maybe a chair and a co-chair, a treasurer and a co-treasurer, a secretary and a co-secretary. And the purpose of that was to make sure that there was always another person in the home group that knew the ropes for that particular position. A lot of people attend meetings and they just think it just happens by osmosis, that they just show up every day at that time or whatever day in the week, they just show up at that time for the meeting with it in mind that maybe they need to share, or this is something they're obligated to do because of court. They don't understand what goes on behind the scenes to make sure that that meeting stays open. They don't understand that there's business meetings, right? That there's regional meetings. They may not understand all of that. However, I would encourage you, if that's you and you're listening, to start paying attention to the people that are working behind the scenes without a lot of fanfare. They're working behind the scenes, making sure that meeting opens. They're not paid for it. This is time that they volunteered. And see if there's an area that you might be able to come alongside them and help. If you have enough clean time, there's certain positions that you would qualify to do. If you don't have enough clean time, there's still things that you can do for your home group that would be helpful. Winter is coming. Those sidewalks need to be shoveled and there has to be salt put down so people don't break their necks coming into a meeting. For some events that home groups throw, they need a sound person. There may be several things that you could add yourself and your skills to your home group, to Narcotics Anonymous, and make it a much sweeter place. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose.